Hey folks, how you doing? It's Mr. Carter here, ready to do math lesson 613. And that lesson is about extending understandings of whole number multiplication. So we're going to be doing a lot of multiplying and doing groups of and stuff. And towards the end, you're going to slowly begin how to learn how to multiply fractions times a whole number, which is kind of cool. So we're going to start slowly, break it down. Our first problem is here. Says here, there are 3 vases. Each vase has 4 flowers in it. How many flowers are there in all? So I drew a picture to help us visualize that. Let me put this up here. Okay, so here we go. We have our 3 vases. Each vase has 4 flowers in it. So we wanted to know how many flowers there are in all. Well, we can do that by simply thinking about groups of. So in words, I would say that this is 3, let me write it over here, 3 groups of 4. And if we were to add those, all our flowers up, we'd know we'd 1, 2, 3, 4. That's one group of 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 groups of 4. 9, 10, 11, and 12. So that we know that our answer is 12 flowers. Now, if we were to make this into an addition equation, we know that it would be 4 for one group of 4 plus 4 plus 4. There we go, our 3 groups of 4. And again, when we add 4 plus 4 plus 4, once again, we get 12. Now, as you know, we can easily do this problem by doing multiplying as well. So 3 groups of 4 is the same as saying 3 times 4. And we know that also equals 12. So the key part of this lesson, the target, is to learn how to do these types of problems with words by using addition and by using multiplication. So I'm going to give you another problem here. So next problem, it says cut flowers will stay fresh longer if 1/4 cup of soda is added to a full vase of water. If a florist has 3 vases of flowers, how much soda is needed to keep them fresh? So again, we know that we have 3 vases of flowers, and each each vase is going to get 1/4 cup of soda to keep them fresh. So I drew another picture, same set of flowers and vases that we had in our first problem, but this time I drew 1/4 cup here to represent the soda that needs to go inside each vase to keep the flowers fresh. So by looking at this problem and using words to describe this problem, we would have 3 groups of 1/4. Because you have 1 group of 1/4 here, 2 groups of 1/4, and 3 groups of 1/4. So when I write that as an addition equation, I would go 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4. Again, 1 group of 1/4, 2 groups of 1/4, 3 groups of 1/4. So here we are, 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4, we know equals a total of 3/4. And I can prove that to you by taking a fraction circle here on the side. Let me just draw one. And show you that 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 would equal a total of 3/4. So since we know a little bit about how multiplication works, we know that multiplication is a fancy way to say groups of. So we can go 3 groups of 1/4. So that would be the same as saying, and I'm just going to draw it down here just because I ran out of space up here. So that's the same as saying 3 times 1/4. 3 groups of 1/4. So we know that the answer to that is 3/4 because we proved it down here. 1 group of 1/4, 1 group of 1/4, 1 group of 1/4. When you add those all together, you get your 3/4. Here's another problem. A florist has 5 bunches of daisies that she wants to dye blue. For a few hours, the stems of each bunch need to sit in a mix of 1 cup of warm water. I'm just going to start underlining some stuff. And 3/8 teaspoon of food coloring. How many cups of water does the florist need in all? And how many teaspoons of food coloring does the florist need in all? So, boys and girls, there's a lot of words here, so I'm going to take this problem and I'm going to break it down. I'm going to get rid of some things that we don't necessarily need, and I'm going to pull out what's important and what we're going to need to solve this problem. So, here's what we know. We know that a florist has 5 bunches of daisies. So that's important. So I'm going to underline that because we need to pull that out. That she wants to dye blue. For a few hours, the stems of each bunch need to sit in a mix of 1 cup warm water and 3/8 teaspoon of food coloring. I'm going to cross out for a few hours because that's just extra. They're just kind of trying to tell the story. We don't really, but that might confuse some of us because we really don't need to know how many hours it takes for the flowers to turn blue. We don't care, really. Okay, so we have 5 bunches of daisies. The stems of each bunch need to sit in 1 cup of warm water, which I've already pulled out, and 3/8 teaspoon of food coloring. Now, the next thing I want to pull out is there are 2 questions here. And sometimes if you read the problem really quickly, you don't catch both questions. But one question is, how many cups of water does the florist need in all? So we want to know about water. And then the next question I'm going to do in a different color is how many teaspoons of food coloring. So we want to know, and I'll circle that. So we have 2 questions here. One question is about how many cups of water does she need, or he need, and how many teaspoons of food coloring do they need. All right, so again, I drew a picture to help us visualize this problem. So we have here our 5 bunches of daisies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bunches of daisies. I only drew 1, but let's pretend there's a bunch there. Now, she needs 1 cup of water per bunch, and she also needs 3/8 teaspoon of dye, food coloring, per bunch. So again, we wanted to know how many cups of water. So in words, that would be, and I'm going to do the water in, let's do it in blue. So she has 5 groups of 1 cup of water, which basically is 1 group of 1 cup plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, that's 4 cups plus 5. So we know that she's going to need 5 cups of water total. Now, our multiplication equation for this would be, again, 5 groups of 1 cup. So that would be 5 times 1 equals 5. So now, I'll do this in green. So we know that the answer for our first question, we go back to that, how many cups of water does the florist need? She needs 5 cups of water. So I could write that down here. 5 cups of water. Now we've got to figure out the food coloring. So we know that she needs 3/8 teaspoon of food coloring for every bunch of flowers. So that's going to be, in words, that's going to be 5 groups of 3/8. Okay, and you can put teaspoons here. So our addition equation, I'm going to squeeze it in down here, is going to be 3/8 plus 3/8 plus 3/8, that's 3 times, plus 3/8, 4 times, plus 3/8, and I'm running out of room. But you get my point. 5 groups of 3/8, so 3/8 plus 3/8 plus 3/8 plus 3/8 plus 3/8. And I'll zoom in here so you can kind of see that closer. Ooh, I'm a little crooked. So again, 3/8 5 times. So what is our multiplication equation? Well, that would be, again, 5 times 3/8, or 3/8 equals. And we don't know the answer to that yet because we haven't worked that out, but let's work it out together. So I drew circles that have that are broken apart into eighths, and I've colored in 3/8. Okay, so here we go. So this is one group of 3/8 plus another group of 3/8 plus another group of 3/8. So that's 3 groups, right? And 4 groups of 3/8, 5 groups of 3/8. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to count how many eighths I have, and I'm going to put them into the circles down here to see what our answer is. So 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, 8/8, and I'm going to stop there. I'm going to just put a little mark here to know where I am. So 8/8, as we know, is a whole, right? So we have a whole. Now we have 9/8, 10/8, 11/8, 12/8, 13/8, 14/8, 15/8. Okay, so we have 15 over 8. Now, that's a top-heavy fraction. It's an improper fraction. So I'm going to make that, so we know that we have 8 eighths over here. We stopped over here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 eighths. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more eighths. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 eighths. So we have 1 and 7/8. So you can have your answer in a couple of ways. You could say it's 15/8 because you counted all your eighths, or you can say that it's also 1 and 7/8. It's up to you. You can convert that improper fraction into a mixed number. So the biggest thing I want you to take out of this is that we started out with 5 groups of 3/8. 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups, 5 groups of 3/8. So we added 3/8 5 times. So 3/8 plus 3/8 plus 3/8 plus 3/8 plus 3/8. That's our addition equation here. But that's the same as saying 5 times 3/8, which we found out when we added it all together is 1 and 7/8. So now what you need to do is go on your Google Classroom. There is and I want you to work on the journal pages. It's journal page 224, 225. It's all about making lip balm. There's a recipe here to make some lip balm, and you're going to have to figure out how much of each ingredient you're going to need for these problems. So I want you to go through, work on these problems, submit them on your Google Classroom. You can go right to the interactive document on your Google slide, fill in your answers there, and just hit turn in when you're done on your Google assignment to let us know that you're done. And that's it for today. Take care.